Welcome to the Practical Data Management class. This is part 3 of Module 1 in a series of 3 modules. Module 1 covers getting started with data planning. Module 1 has 4 parts. This movie will cover part 3, file naming and organization. The other parts of Module 1 are available as separate movies. In the last module, we reviewed creating a data management plan using the DMP tool. As you collect your research data, you'll want to follow best practices for file naming and organization. Do you know where your data are? This tweet expresses a common problem that's probably happened to all of us at one time. With a little planning, we can avoid this situation. Here's another example why data management is important. Have you heard about Retraction Watch? It's a blog that reports retractions of scientific papers and has shown that retractions are more common than was once thought. The authors of this paper realized they made a file coding error on the samples, causing their results to be invalid. They retracted the paper themselves. Retraction Watch recently got a MacArthur grant to expand their watchdog efforts to create a database of retractions. Now, on to some best practices. Do you have file names like this? I know I do. Using a thoughtful, consistent file naming strategy is the easiest way to make a big difference in organizing your files and making them easy to find, not just by you, but by others in your group, your colleagues, or your advisor. Any system is better than none. Make your system logical so that it works for 80% of your situation. You can't plan for everything. Here are some best practices for naming files. Files should be named consistently. They should also be descriptive yet short. Keep them under 25 characters. Use underscores instead of spaces. Avoid characters such as forward and backslashes, quotes, colons, asterisk, star, greater than or less than, question marks, brackets, ampersands, and dollar signs. Use this international date standard shown on the slide, starting with a 4-digit year, dash, 2-digit month, dash, 2-digit date. I'm sure you're doing some of these things. Here are some examples of file naming strategies you might want to try. The first example shows files ordered by date. Note this convention allows sorting by date. The second example shows files ordered by type. This one is by content type or file type. Note the docx or PDF file extensions. Another option is order files by subject. And the last example forces a particular ordering with numbers. Note a 2-digit system. Depending on how large your file collection is, you may need 3 digits. All of these examples show how just a little bit of planning can serve you well in the long run. Note how descriptive file names are. They use underscores, not spaces, and the date format follows our best practices. Similar to file naming, folder names should be descriptive and describe relationships with other folders. One way to indicate relationships between folders is through nesting. Be mindful when you choose your organization so it is widely understandable. Choose a system, stick with it, and document the system in your README file, which we'll talk about in the next module. This is the end of part 3 of Module 1 of the Data Management class series. Thanks for listening.